Hi, this is Deborah Reeves, the author of The Flower of Freedom. All rights to the book and this presentation are reserved. This is Chapter 92, Climbing Skyward. Your chair is ready. Leave your burdens behind. Rest with us for a few minutes, under 10 minutes, and you might find that your day is easier after this. Here we go, Chapter 92, Climbing Skyward. In Paris, when it was time for champagne, Bertie asked if he could propose the toast. Aki nodded, wondering what he would say. Bertie raised his glass and looked around, scanning every face. Holding the glass with the two fingers splinted, he smiled and said, "To us, to this beautiful world, to everyone we love, to all of us." Everyone drank deeply. Aki looked around at the assembled faces and wondered at his good fortune. The twists and turns of life were unfathomable, unpredictable, but no matter what seemed to happen, things kept growing and surprising him. Paulette was dead, that was certain, but the world did not stop. It just kept changing, and he just kept scrambling to keep up with it. Where he had emptiness before, he had an abundance of life now. How was this possible? It did not seem to make mathematical sense. How do you subtract and end up with a greater total? It made no logical sense. It just was, and he was so grateful. Francois was there laughing with Bertie and Michaud. Josette was hugging Marie and then Suzette. Bianca and Nicole were chatting with Joseph. Philippe was sitting back with his eyes resting softly on Marie. There was more life in that salon this night than there had been in the decade before Marie arrived combined. When the champagne bottle was empty and the dessert had been consumed, the table had been cleared, but happy people began to trickle out of the apartment for their homes. Francois shook Aki's hand, and then he leaned in for a hug and a slap on the back. Josette kissed his cheek, and Michaud dove in for a hug. Then they all called good night as they left the penthouse. They offered the others rides home, and everyone but Philippe accepted. Philippe was the last one there with Aki, Marie, and Bertie. Bertie said, "My sister the doctor, that feels right. My brother the engineer." Aki spoke to them about Bertie's return to Montreal. "You have almost a week to enjoy Paris, Bertie, and then we have to take you home. Marie, you have already missed enough school, so you will stay here in the apartment while I travel back with Bertie." Marie looked disappointed, but she nodded her head. She had to get back to class, even if Suzette was taking notes. She wondered if Suzette would come and stay with her while they were gone. "I had thought about you, though, young man," he said to Philippe. "You have already missed a significant amount of school as well. But when I called your father, before we had dessert, he told me that you had kept in touch with him while you were away, and that he and you had worked out a way for the two of you to get your assignments handed in." Philippe nodded, watching Aki with curiosity. "That means you're not really back and behind in your studies. So when I asked your father if I could take you to Montreal with me so that you could see your new campus, he gave me permission, if that is what you would like to do. So I ask you now, would you like to fly to Montreal with us? I must tell you, we will fly out on Thursday night and return on Sunday night, a very short trip. What do you say?" Bertie piped in. "Saying no would be a very bad idea, Philippe." "I do not make it a habit of bad ideas, Bertie. I say yes, Uncle Aki, and I say thank you as well. Oh, I forgot to tell you that your father did put one condition on it, though. It was that you go home to your family tonight. They want you home. They have missed you." With that, Philippe said good night to Marie and Aki. Then he turned to Bertie and he said, "If I leave you here, do you promise to be sensible?" Bertie looked at him as though he was confused. "Sensible? Sensible? I'm not sure I know what that means." "Get yourself a dictionary or I'm not leaving. If I do not go home, I cannot go to Montreal. That's the deal, and you heard it with your own ears." Bertie said, "I suddenly remembered what sensible means, and yes, if it will get rid of you, I promise to be sensible until you return." Marie went to get his coat, and she brought it back, inspecting it. Philippe thanked her, and soon he was gone. Philippe gave Bertie a hug, giving his left arm a wide berth, and he left the apartment. He hailed a cab for his short ride home. "Uncle Aki, that's so kind. Philippe is nervous about how cold it is in Montreal, and now he gets to visit in the coldest part of the year. He will either run for a university in a tropical climate, or he will know that he can survive. Such genius! I salute you," Bertie joked, and saluted with his splinted hand. "He's made of good stuff. I have no worries about him. You, on the other hand, are a constant worry." Uncle Aki was getting into the spirit of banter. "Now it's just us," Aki added. "Mama said something interesting tonight that might dispute that, Uncle Aki. She said that we're all part of a tree of life that extends all the way back in history and stretches forward into the future in this beautiful world. She told me, and that means you too, Bertie and Uncle Aki, that we must keep climbing and reach back to help others reach safe branches within the tree. She thinks we are all living, breathing miracles." That's the end of chapter 92. Chapter 93 is just around the corner. It's called Transitions. We invite you back for that. It won't be the same without you. You know you're an integral part of all we do. Without your ears, am I actually really telling a story?